All right, and welcome everyone to session 13 of Mechwarrior Destiny, Salvaged Destiny, a Mechwarrior Destiny actual play run by myself and four super awesome dudes that I consider my friends. One of them hates me, and at the end of the session, I'll have you guess which one. But I digress. Everyone knows who it is. Thank you, Aaron. I love you, but you're a good man. Anywho's, enough out of me. Enough out of me. Let's go around the table. We're gonna have all of our players introduce themselves and their characters. We're going to do a quick little recap of the events of the last couple of sessions, which were explosive. Is that a good word to use? They were dynamically explosive.
They were a blast.
I love you. Amazing.
They were. Fuck. That's
so goofy. I love it.
Concussalicious.
Concussalicious, which is trademark. Aaron.
Yes.
2022. There it is. CS. So we'll go around the table. We're going to go from Lawrence. We're going to go to Cyprian. We're going to Willow. And then Callum. Have everyone introduce themselves and their character. And then we'll dive right into play. Take it away, gentlemen.
So who was starting in? It was me, wasn't it? It was me starting.
I hope it wasn't me because I also like that.
Lawrence,
I only know.
Willow,
I only know I'm going last.
Callum.
All right,
Anders, Steve, Strom, Aaron.
All right,
We're off to a great start. We're off to a great start.
It just slid over my smooth brain.
Yeah. So, yep, I'm Anders or Lawrence. I'm the Marshall Lyran part of the company who is very unhappy about this current arrangement that we have, apparently working for terrorists or something. But
no, we're the terrorists. We're working for smugglers.
Oh, it's so much better. But yeah.
Get out of here. Get out of here. These guys.
Is it me next?
Let's just say yes. It doesn't matter at this point.
Hi, I'm Steve. I will be Cyprian Devon, who is loving his new iPad in the future. He's hacking drones. He's jamming doors open with it. He's all up in the internet of the future.
Some might even call it the future net. It's actually not an iPad anymore. It's a Z-Pad. They've gotten all the way to the end of the alphabet. So there you go.
Steve Jobs is still alive though. He's got his head in a little jar somewhere.
Yeah, just like he's got one of those neuro helmets, kind of like Hard Shell from the Friday night game. And he's just all sitting there and just like, I am Steve Jobs. iPhone 4000.
It's a Futurama glass jar filled with water.
from Futurama. Yes.
Anyway, while our DM is dying, I am Strom. I'll be playing Willow, who is moonlighting as a bit of a terrorist at the moment. Just want to try it out. Dip my toes in. See
what it feels like, right?
The old college try. And and I'm Aaron. I'm playing Callum, originally from Rosselhag, now from nowhere. And most recently, almost killed by one of his own teammates. As a matter of fact, his squad leader. So, great.
Good times.
Horseshoes and hand grenades. Oh, wait.
I mean,
yeah,
one of those things is accurate. Yikes. Yikes. Hard yikes. And of course, I am Wolf, the Game Master. Super excited to be here. Super excited to be back together with these gentlemen. So when we last left off, our intrepid mech warriors, they had arrived in Robinson due to the request of an old, and I hesitate to use the word colleague, but an old contact, an old person that the squad leader, Willow, had done some business with. And this was years in Willow's path. A lady by the name of Katrina Mad Dog. She works for a organization known as the Vule. She had called a favor due from Willow. And through a series of events, I would say, the group had, blown up a diner, gotten a bunch of small arms, killed a bunch of people, escaped, and by some stroke of luck, still gotten paid. 2.5 million Cbills. 2.5 million Cbills were deposited into the account of the Suns, and there was just a small letter attached to it, a little note that just said, "Be seeing you, Mad Dog." So we're going to open our first scene with the four of you, along with the rest of the company, on the Lotropo. And I'd like to start with Callum. Callum, it's been about 4 days. You've met with the doctor. You do have got a little bit of brain damage, but it should heal. A little bit of a concussion. But you should be all right within probably a couple of weeks. He said he recommends to stay out of the cockpit for the time. It may affect your ability to interface with the neuro helmet. But I'm curious, what would you be doing on a Saturday afternoon? The ship is still in orbit of Robinson. Your logistics coordinator is working on trying to put together some options. Both Esme and Yini have been working kind of hand in hand with this. Where would Callum find himself?
You know what? I think that he would find himself in proximity with them, sort of listening to what they are kicking around in terms of options.
So you would be likely on the bridge.
Mhm.
You'd likely be hearing them discuss where they're thinking they can go, where they should go, what they should do, etc. And so we're going to pick up just kind of mid-scene in this conversation. And we see Callum, you've just walked in from maybe your latest, visit to the doctor, to medical. He's cleared you for light duty. Like I said, stay out of the cockpit. Nothing too crazy at this time. But as you walk in, you hear what sounds like not an argument. Not an argument at all. It actually sounds like the two women are joking with one another, and there's some levity inside of the cockpit right now. Sitting at the helm is the captain of the Lotropo, Oopshire, and he's got his face in his hand, and he's just kind of like shaking it, just face palm. You've got Yini off to the side. You've got Esme sitting kind of near to the front, the big view screen, that open window in the front of the ship. You hear the different instruments and panels and whatnot going around here, this and left and right. Thank you, Hourly, for the sub. I appreciate you, man. And Esme finally pipes in this moment, and she says, "You're kidding me. Wait. They did what to you back in training? That is insane. I took you as a better Mechwarrior than that, Yini." And then Yini kind of leans back and says, "Oh, did you now? Well, I've actually taken a little bit of a liking to logistics, which is a much more honorable profession than it comes to being a fucking lawyer." And then Esme leans in and says, "Lawyers are super important. They absolutely need to exist. I mean, who's going to tell you what you should and shouldn't be doing and make sure you don't break the law?" Yini leans back. I'm a part of a mercenary company. We break the law all the time. Well, actually, we follow the law. Fuck you. And then she looks over at Esme and goes, "Fuck you too." And then you've got the captain just sitting there, just going, "Women, ladies, please, for the love of God, stop. Just, where the hell are we going?" And then Callum walks in, the doors shut behind you. They all look to you, and there's this deer caught in the headlights moment as they all stare to you.
Yeah. Hi.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
So where are we going?
Yini looks over at the star chart, and you see a image on a 2D screen of Robinson. She does one of the zoom outs so that the image gets bigger, and she points to, just not even really points, but just makes this broad motion towards the screen. Honestly, Callum, I'm not sure. There's a number of contracts. Esme just mentioned we finally become officially certified with the Mercenary board, so we're good to take pretty much any contract we want to. don't have to stick to the backwater anymore. See here, and she looks around. She's pointing. There's a contract to take out a would-be like bandit lord or something. There's a couple of contracts. There's a defense mission over in Sauk City. We could cross over into let's see here. And she just kind of mulls a little bit. She seems a little bit lost. She seems like she doesn't really have a good opinion of what to do next. There is just this kind of air of, I don't really know what to do. And she just trails off in this moment.
Well, maybe before we decide what or where we want to go, we should figure out why we want to go there. So what do we want to do, Yinny? Do we want to get back to Kintara's? Because we play our cards right on a couple of contracts for Victor. We may just end up back there.
Yinny rubs her eyes, does kind of one of these. I don't know, Callum. I don't think we're ready to go back to Kintara. It's every report coming out of there is it's still a fucking bloodbath, man. It's just I don't know if we're ready.
All right. So what are we ready for?
She pulls up several contracts that are within 60 days, so 2-month jumps. You've got a defense contract, which would last for a month. You've got what some would consider an assassination contract. Take out this guy who's been harassing us with his company. And you've also got a contract which doesn't pay much, but it seems something about it seems a bit off. It's coming from a local government official in the Devonal 2 system. The Devonal 2 system. And it's not in Devonal. So the contract comes from Devonal, but the actual job is to take place in the Catargo system. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag you guys over to the local region here. And I want to show you exactly what I am mentioning. So let me actually do this. I'm going to move you guys over to the battle overlay so you guys can see what I'm referencing. So you guys are currently in Robinson, right there, right? This contract is coming from the system, which I've just lost it. There's so many. So Donoval 2, right here. Okay. I don't know if you can see that. But the actual contract takes place in Cantargo, and it's to capture a local military base. Not a whole lot of details, but it pays okay. Just pays okay. Well, these are the most promising from the ones that I've been able to look up. And all of them are, SMA pipes in, and all of them are official through the Mercenary Review Board. So it's none of this backwater extra bullshit anymore.
Okay. Do we know why the Catargo job is so lukewarm on pay?
Cantargo job. I'm sorry. Oh, Catargo. Yeah. You said blah. brain just went dead for a second. Well, the big thing about this contract, and she like types a little bit. It looks like we're allowed to keep like 90% of the salvage we find. But based on what I'm seeing here, and the details in this one are a bit sparse, it looks like it might just be a real small contingent of local military. I don't really understand why someone from... What the fuck? Why would Donovan want to attack Alancha? That seems weird. I could probably do some more research into this one and figure out exactly what's going on, but I don't know, just something feels a little off about this one.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
Okay. Well, let me see what I can come up with, and I'll let you and the rest of the boys know.
All right.
Cool. And as we pivot away from there, I'd like to go over with Lawrence. What is Lawrence up to right now?
I think Lawrence is kind of just ruminating on the kind of circumstances that they just had, given that, like, turns out there's a gang war occurring on his home planet that he didn't really know about.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Allegedly, yeah. And he's kind of going to be focused on, checking out his weapons, checking out his rifle, making sure that it's still working after the fighting last night, making sure that nothing's damaged on his equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And after doing that, he'll go check out the Griffin, because it's been sitting for a while and might need to be looked at, maybe. He's mostly just trying to, stay distracted from all the goings on.
Stay distracted, stay busy, keep himself moving, and that actually makes sense. So you head off down to the mech bay, and normally the mech bay, there's a lot of noise. You hear blow torches, you hear welding, you hear ammo being loaded in, and it's actually really quiet. It's really, really quiet. And you walk in, and the lights are on that kind of passive lighting. So you've just got the floor floodlights. And as you walk in, there's this as the overhead lights click on automatically since you're entering in. And as you look around, you see that it appears to be completely empty in the mech bay right now. You see your Griffin. You see several of the light mechs that the company owns. You see all just kind of sitting there. And there's almost a look of loneliness. Obviously your mechs aren't alive, but it has this look of like you come home to your dog after a long vacation and it's like, yo, you're still alive. That's nice. Just has that feel to it. But as you walk inside and you hear that clang, clang, clang of your feet on the metal grating, maybe you came in from the top and you're heading down one of the stairwells from the gantry or the walkways up top. But as you walk down, you get to the floor and you hear this. Well, you hear what sounds like someone throwing a ball or something, maybe like a basketball or even like a tennis ball, maybe even a racquetball against a wall. And if you imagine, if you will, you've got those two main hangars, the left and the right side. You're walking down that center part of the dropship, and it's coming from on the other side, and it looks to be behind one of the other mechs. And you just hear this so as though they're bouncing it off the floor, the wall, and then catching it. Floor, wall, catch. So dunk dunk thud. Dunk dunk thud. And it's a very rhythmic kind of, I guess, noise, as it were. And I'm curious, what do you do in this moment?
I'm gonna go investigate it, see who's farting around in the mech bay. But yeah, he's gonna he doesn't have like a gun out or anything like that, but he is gonna check out what's going on.
Just gonna head out and just go shoot some random person on your ship. That's beautiful. I absolutely love where your mind's at. Just
I
start,
wonder who would do that.
Just-
Such a thing.
just pull a Godfrey. That's beautiful. All right, good.
Mhm.
I like where your mind's at. So Lawrence, you actually get over near to one of the other mechs, not yours. It's on the other side. And as you round the corner, you actually see Richie. You see Richard, one of the mech techs. He's got a baseball glove. He's got a little baseball in his left hand, and he's thunk thunk catch, thunk thunk catch, and he's just doing it over and over again. And up until a few moments ago, when you walked in, I mean, all the lights were off. So he was doing this in not pure pitch black dark, but he was doing this in low lighting at this moment, and doesn't seem to notice your approach. Doesn't seem to realize that you're there. But I'm curious. Do you say anything? Do you let him keep doing what he is doing? How do you handle this situation?
How is he, without like sounding weird? How is he throwing the ball? Is he like spiking it, or is he just look like he's doing it out of boredom?
Spiking it. That's a very intuitive question to ask, Lawrence. He is spiking the ball. There's a kind of, you see someone that's just lazily like, I'm a little bored, thunk thunk. And then there's a guy who, I am so angry that I need to do something to keep my hands busy, and it's a thunk thunk catch.
Mhm.
And it's not just a catch, it's he grabs the ball out of the air. You hear the leather of the mitt as he grinds it into it, and there's that kind of stretching noise as you both grip with his right hand that has the mitt, and he kind of drives the ball into it, and then thunk thunks again. Grabs it, thunk thunks again. There's a kind of anger in this right now.
All right, I think it's Richie, right? Just making sure. No.
Yeah, Richie.
Okay.
Mr.
Okay,
Jokester,
cool.
Mr. Yeah, why do they call it a wolfhound? Doesn't really
Mhm.
look like a wolf. Or like a dog. Call it doghound.
Gotcha. So I think I don't want to take another plot point. I want to get in front of it. Sorry, here we go. I think he's gonna walk past him and then enter his line of sight, not like walk up behind him.
Thunk thunk. Catch. Oh, Jesus fucking what? Oh. You sneaking up on what the hell, Lawrence?
I was specifically trying to avoid that. I was gonna come in
Jesus.
from where he's throwing
peripherals
in his line of sight.
walk in, he didn't even notice you until you were
Okay.
literally, he was about to chuck the ball and it might have even hit
Gotcha.
you, and he just stops himself and he hey Lawrence, hey man, what's what are you doing creeping around in the dark? I mean, yeah, hey.
I was going to inspect my griffin to see if anything was going on, but I find you playing catch with yourself rather aggressively. Is anything going on?
No, I'm good.
Are you sure that you're good? You're kind of abusing that ball, and we only have one.
So as you get closer, you notice that there is a small, I mean, it's reinforced steel. It's not dented, but you can see a scuff mark where he has hit both the floor and the wall in the exact same, or very close to the exact same spot, repeatedly again and again and again. And the ball itself is starting to look worn, and some of the threads, that kind of red stitching in your standard baseball, is starting to look a little worn, actually. He's been abusing the ball. That's very well stated, Lawrence. Very well stated. And you hear that glove again kind of creak the leather. It's a newer glove, so it hasn't quite gotten worked in, and there's that kind of groaning of the stretching of the leather as he just drives his fist into it, holding that ball. Yeah, me, I don't, yeah, man, I'm just really bored, I guess. I mean, there's more, I don't, I, the glove with the ball in it, kind of goes to his side. He reaches down, he takes it off, and he just kind of cradles it in his left hand, the ball in the glove. I don't know, man. There was... I can't... Look, you know how they say you shouldn't shit where you eat? Look, I shat where I eat. And, well, it didn't really work out. So, I mean, it's whatever. You know, it happens, but I've got to see that person every day, and then it's stupid, and it's dumb, and, you know, whatever. I don't know, man. It's fucking... It's whatever. Doesn't... I'll get over it. It's fine. Yeah. You ever wonder why they call it a griffin? I mean, it doesn't really look like a griffin of yore. Like, it doesn't have wings or a beak or anything like that. I mean, like, the ravens kind of look like a raven, right? Like, they've got the big nose, and there's kind of looks like a beak thing. You can, like, paint, like a face on it. Like, I don't know. I'm just curious how these mechs get their names, right? And then he tries to pivot away from the conversation. He's obviously trying to get away from it.
So Lawrence is gonna answer with say, well, it often works very much like the griffin of legend. It dives down on its prey. But more importantly, are you sure that you do not want to talk about it? Why do you feel like you shot where you ate exactly?
Wait, what? Why? I mean, she kind of came on to me. Or maybe it came on to her. I don't know. I don't know, it was just we were drinking one night and everybody's having a good time and there's not much to do because, you know, your mechs are all... He looks over at the Nighthawk, the Knight right there, GYR. He says they're just sitting here rusting. Yeah. I don't... What? He's trying to be silly and he's feeling a little trapped, you can tell. He's feeling a little like, oh, I've said too much and I want to try to pivot away from this conversation.
Lawrence isn't gonna let him. So
let's go.
he's gonna, I assume it's going to be with, oh gosh, sorry, I gotta go to refer to the sheet.
Okay,
I
man.
forget her name. Dina, was it? Or
That's a guess, but we'll find out.
so I'm gonna say, who of your coworkers exactly did you sleep with? Now, I
okay.
recognize
Whoa,
that
whoa,
you are-
whoa, Lawrence. Whoa. I would never sleep with a coworker. I am a professional, and I'm a boss, right? Like, I'm in charge, right? Cyprian put me in charge. I'm the boss man, right? Like, I'm the one that's at the top of the food chain. I wouldn't sleep with a coworker.
Understood.
It was
Who
as
did
a
you
man.
sleep with?
What?
Okay.
Huh?
So you slept with our lawyer.
Yeah. Well, she slept with me.
More understandable.
More to the point. Yeah.
Did she make you sign a contract?
And he actually starts laughing. No. But she had a lot of questions about Cyprian. It was weird. Like, we were getting all whatever, and she'd be like, so what do you know about Cyprian? I was like, I don't know. I've worked with him for a little bit. And she was like, okay, well, tell me more about him and whatever. And it was weird. It was just weird. I don't know. It was a thing. She also asked about you a lot, which was weird. Didn't ask about Willow, which I guess is normal.
Nobody wants to learn more about Willow than they already know.
That's fair. He's kind of a firecracker. Yeah. But anyway, so, you know, we were hanging out and things, you know, they got a little frisky and it was cool, and then I was like, hey, let's do it again. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, you know, the thing where we did the thing. And she was like, that never happened, and don't speak to me. So I've been throwing this baseball against the wall for the last, I don't know, couple of days. I think we need a new baseball. Can you talk to Yinny about that? Isn't she the one that does, like, ordering of supplies? That'd be cool.
I think so. It might be an expensible item, but I am not very experienced with women or any kind of romantic entanglement.
There is
But
a
I would-
look on his face in this moment that says, you don't say. That's what the look says.
It's shocking, I know, but I would suggest time and asking her later if you would like to continue a relationship. This is very boilerplate advice. But also, I would advise against pursuing a relationship with our lawyer, because that will likely lead to any number of mistakes, legal or otherwise. Just find, if you want to bring a girlfriend that you find planet side on, we can make accommodations for that. But inter-business things don't work.
He's like the into business things, and you watch this, Richie. He like mirrors your crisscross, and he goes, "Have you ever even been laid?" And I think that's a funny moment where we're gonna split away from this scene because I don't want to know the answer. I think that's funny, and I'd like to pivot back over.
Yeah, this feels like a bag of sand.
like a bag of sand. That's really funny. That's really funny. So we're gonna pivot back over, and I'd like to know where Cyprian would be and what he would be doing. Again, Saturday afternoon. You've had a couple of days post the events of Robinson, and I'm curious as to what he would be doing to keep himself busy. He does have the iPad 4001. What's he doing to keep himself busy?
He would probably be in his bunk room.
Yeah.
And Willow asked him to remove trace of him from as many records as he could find. Am I remembering that correct?
Sort of like a dead man switch, where if we need to, at the drop of a hat, erase Willow from existence, then we can. But until we need to.
So he would be doing some digging on Willow and trying to find as much information and find out where all of the information about Willow.
So Willow, I'm gonna have to pick your brain a little bit about this. What kind of information would be out there about Willow, no surname? What would be out there?
All the stuff that was created by Mad Dog. Just all the leverage she has on Willow.
Anything worth mentioning? Anything interesting that might be worth mentioning?
I mean, it's all fake nonsense. So
Mm-hmm.
just all the stuff that's in like the Galactic registry and stuff that can be manipulated to say, oh, actually, this guy is wanted. It's super wanted criminal.
Oh.
Or like,
Okay. Okay.
It would be kind of annoying to not exist, I'm sure. Actually, probably a little more than annoying, but less annoying than being a heavily wanted criminal, assuming that Katrina didn't keep her word.
Interesting. So, Cyprian, you are futzing around. It's gonna be late afternoon, so 3:30, 4-ish, almost evening. Maybe get even close to. Is it tea or dinner? Dinner is the late one, right? Steve, I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
British. Okay, so it's close to
Dinner's
tea.
like 7 p.m.
Yeah, it's close to tea. Close to tea. And you are futzing around. You've managed to find a lot of this information. And I'm curious as to in what way would you be setting up this quote-unquote dead man switch that would erase Willow from the future net, from existence, basically.
He'd basically just be setting up some sort of a program that he's finding all of the bits of information, he's like bookmarking it, pushing it into the program so that, with a push of a button, it will just go through each of the things that has been found and reroute it to pages that not exist.
Beautiful. So you're working on this. You've been doing this for several hours, and there is a faint but rhythmic knock at your bunk's door in your quarters. It's a tunk tunk tunk.
He will sort of absent-mindedly just shout, "Yep."
There is a noise as the door slides open. And standing in the doorway, looking maybe a little nervous, but also looking candidly speaking, she's looking a little dolled up. She's looking like she's put in some effort. Normally, she looks a little greasy. Her hair is a little crazy. It looks like she took a comb to it, maybe a brush to it. Looks like she might even have a little bit of, maybe natural lipstick on or something. She looks like she is, in some way, putting on a little bit of an effort in this moment to make herself a little bit more presentable. And she just hovers there in the doorway for a second, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cyprian, you have your face in your tablet. And I'm curious, do you look up or do you just continue doing whatever it is you're doing?
He would probably continue doing and then sort of glance up and then continue doing and then sort of say, "You got a hot date?"
And she will, her face goes red, just completely and utterly red. And Dina shifts from one foot to the other. You can see her shifting her weight left and right in this moment. And she says,
as she goes red, Cyprian will say something like off the cuff, like, if you get more embarrassed, then your cheek shade is going to match your lipstick.
And she says, never mind. And she bolts down the hallway, and a second later, your door shuts behind her.
You're real Casanova.
He will like finish off the task and then sigh to himself, put the tablet down, finish off the cup of tea that he's got, because tea is definitely still going to exist in the future.
You're goddamn right it does. You're goddamn right it does.
Earth still exists, so the British are still going to be there, still drinking copious amounts of tea.
Strong.
So he will put the tablet down and then go and knock on Dina's door.
So Dina's quarters are just a few doors down from yours. And what we'll do is we'll have you boop on out of there, boop on down the hallway, and you get up to her door and you knock on it. There's a tink, 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 and there's no response from inside. There's no response in this moment. You can hear someone inside, though. You can hear her. You know how Dina sometimes goes off the handle? It's like, stupid fucking piece of shit, fucking garbage, mother, stupid mech warriors and their stupid fuck. She's just going off about something. And she's stupid makeup and won't come off and fucking eyeliner, fucking shit and putting stupid fuck. She's having a moment.
Can you open is the door like locked?
It is not locked. It is not locked.
He's just gonna open the door.
So there are these little like mirrors with maybe a little sink in most of the I guess the rooms, as it were. You've got a little like place to like read or something. There's just something where you can get a glass of water and whatnot. So she is standing in front of this mirror, and you see she's got several pieces of like paper towel, maybe some like cotton balls, and she's trying to like wipe off all of the stuff she had on it. It wasn't aggressive. It wasn't like she didn't look like a clown or anything, but she's trying to get everything off. You see there's a little like one that's smattered and smeared with red. There's one that's got a little black on it from the eyeliner, and she's just tearing off the face paint that she had put on, as it were, and she doesn't turn around.
Cyprian will like just take one step inside the room and just say, "Look, I'm sorry, I didn't mean anything by it."
You're a real fucking asshole, you know that?
What did I do?
She turns around, and you might expect to see tears, but you see that like real aggressive, like I'm super hyper focused, Dina's going in to fix some shit on a mech look on her face. And there's a little bit of smearing, like she's got some eyeliner that's kind of smeared off on her right cheek. The lipstick is mostly off. There's still like a speck of red on her lower lip. And she looks at Cyprian and she says, I'm not good at this, and I hate this shit, but also I you were good to me, and most people aren't that good to me, and would you like to come in?
He'll take another step and shut the door.
And here's what's going to happen. We're going to fade to black. Because Dina's going to walk over. And she's going to plant a big one on Cyprian's face. And you can tell me whether or not he will engage as well. Or whether or not he's going to let it, he's going to push back. That's all I need to know. Does he engage or does he disengage?
I think he's probably going to disengage and... Yeah. I'm not sure that Cyprian knows where he wants it to go either.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
So
he's
what
gonna
what will happen
Yeah.
is, as she plants a big one on you, Cyprian disengages. She once again looks completely flushed and red. And before Cyprian can say a word, she opens the door behind him, shoves him out, slams it, and then locks it. And we're just going to leave that there for the time being. We're just going to leave that there for the time being. Hot damn. Woof. That was an emotional roller coaster if there ever was one. I love it. God, I love you, Cyprian. You're so great. You're so great. All right, next up, we're going to pivot over to Willow. Willow, your sister is on board. Her name is Willa, because I think that's funny in my head canon. So we've got Willow and Willa.
Her name's Penelope.
Sure. She goes by Willow. She goes by Willow these days. And, yeah. How do you spell that? Penelope? Penelophy?
Penelope. Get these H's and shit out of here.
I
If
don't
it was
know.
PH, wouldn't it be Penelope?
Penelope. My name is Penelope. Yes, quite. No. So
we didn't know how to read until we were 20.
your sister is on board, but it's a Saturday afternoon, late afternoon. What would Willow be doing to keep himself busy?
So Willow would be avoiding his sister just at every opportunity. He is not ready for that at the moment.
And she is also avoiding you as well, which is perfect. So it's working out great. She got herself some quarters. She's been hanging out in there, avoiding everyone, being basically a hermit aboard the Lotropo. It's been absolutely fantastic. Just hanging out, being a weird recluse, as it were. So what would Willow be doing on an afternoon?
Willow would seek out Cyprian.
Seek out Cyprian. Seek out Cyprian. Well, Cyprian is in the hallway of the crew quarters. Looks... I don't know, how do you look post-interaction with Dina? I'm going to add a little flavor.
confused.
A little flavor. As you pushed back, she slapped you, shoved you out the door, and then slammed it. So you've got a little bit of a handprint red mark on the side of your face in this moment. And, Willow,
So he's gonna.
yeah.
So I'm gonna add that as he was pushed backwards, he kind of stumbled and then like landed on his ass. So he's kind of leaning up against the wall on the opposite side of the corridor, like sort of knees half up, like rubbing his face, going like, "What the fuck happened there then?"
Dina slapped you too, huh? Yeah, she's done that to me a couple of times. She's got a real arm on that one.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
He's gonna look up at Will and go, "That was the weirdest interaction I've ever had with Dina."
Willow will put his arm out so they can pull Cyprian up from the ground.
He will take the arm and get lifted to his feet.
So, do you want to talk about it? As if not, I've got a lot to talk about. Actually, you're like the least intimidating person on this entire ship. So, just wanted to wanted to unload some things on you. Just be upfront about it.
Is that a compliment? I don't even.
It's a backhanded compliment to go along with the forehanded slap that he just got. Now he's got a complete set.
Now he's evened out.
Yeah. Cyprian will say, or like, well, it can't get any much worse than the previous interaction, so lead the way.
Sure, you want to do it in your room or you want to do it in my room?
Uh,
Are you- How sure are you this can't get any weirder?
Good
Cyprian
night,
will-
everybody.
Cyprian will shake his head and will say, I'm going to go and put the kettle on, and head off and go to what I assume is like a
Like
little
the eating
canteen bit.
area, yeah.
The galley.
The galley, for sure. For
Well, that's
sure.
not a bad idea. All right. Well,
So you guys head off to the galley. Perfect.
and just fair is fair. If you wanted to talk about what just happened with Tina, I'm all ears. As soon as you've got maybe 3 or 4 hours. This is I've got a lot to unload. It's surprisingly liberating knowing that everyone knows that that the entire reason I'm here was made up and fraudulent, and not that I am a fraud. I think it's pretty obvious that I've been nothing but genuine, but the reason that I'm here and the reason that I was Mechwarrior and Kentaris was that I had to get out of a terrible gang life, and he just goes on and on about his younger years in the middle of a gang war and all the just awful traumatizing shit that he's seen, and how he felt when he thought his sister died, and the years he spent inside the gang without the protection of his sister, and it just goes on and on. It's hours.
Cyprian will just listen and make sure that there is 2 full cups of tea or coffee or whatever Willow would be drinking.
What are the most important parts of what you're sharing with him? Like, what are the most important parts, Willow? Like, what would really stand out from your past?
Willow would probably emphasize the the amount, the volume and amount and grade of just like personal and emotional trauma at such a young age,
Mm-hmm.
and also the the just crushing emotional baggage of like losing your only family in the world and then having to move on from that at such a young age.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'd probably end up with, and now she's alive and here, and I don't know what to do.
Motherfucker, please.
Cyprian will take a long swig of tea and then put an empty cup down. Well, on the plus side, she's alive, I guess. I don't really know how to. I don't know what to say, will I? Well, I'm
gonna be honest, I wasn't really expecting advice. I think the only
that's
person
fantastic. I am not qualified to give advice on this situation.
Yeah, don't worry. The only person who may even be qualified is Callum, and like I said, you're the least intimidating person on this entire ship, and Callum might be the most intimidating person on this entire ship.
Only if he's not on your side.
I did potentially give him brain damage, so that's not a guarantee.
Yeah, but maybe he forgot about it.
Oh, that's a good point. Ah,
You ran in my head! And then you said...
I should test those waters. Maybe see what he remembers. Maybe we can blame it on Lawrence.
That's beautiful.
He
Beautiful.
got cue balled in the back of the head.
So good. So good.
But yeah. But honestly, Cyprian, it feels a lot better just to be able to get that off my chest. Just so that I don't have to hide it from anyone except for the lawyer.
Cyprian will he'll just put his finger up in the air and just go, wait there 1 second, and then trip off across the corridor, grab his iPad and come back and then show him the program and said, look, all you need to do is just go here, click OK, and it will just erase everything. It's fine.
Oh, fantastic. I guess if this is a great failsafe in case Mad Dog decides to not uphold her end of the bargain. This is exactly what I was hoping for. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. That was exactly what I was hoping for. Was never ever coming in contact with that bitch again. But you know, this is a good second. So what happened with Gina? You want to talk about that? I did take up a lot of your time. I feel bad if
2.5 hours later.
feel bad if I unload and you don't get to do the same. Everyone needs it every once in a while.
Cyprian will stand up and go and put the kettle on again, and be like, well, I think that may be part of the issue, maybe with Dina. I'm not clear on the whole situation.
Well, she kissed you. There's lipstick still on your face.
Are you telling me the whole 2.5 hours there's just been like a lipstick smudge? Like it's like red, like sloppy on his face?
Now it's all dried on, so as he rubs it, it's just gonna like spread farther and farther.
So Cyprian will turn around and go, you didn't even tell me, you asshole, and then try and rub it off.
I didn't want to interrupt.
You were the one that was talking.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt.
And I think I'm not gonna get in the middle of this interaction, but I think at this point, like Callum comes in for like a coffee or something, and he's like, "Oh, Willow, Cyprian, you got a bunch of red right here on your face," and then turn around and leave.
Oh, maybe he did forget about it. He didn't punch me in the back of the head.
Oh my god! Oh, that's so good.
But so she kissed you, and
Lawrence is gonna come in, and he's just gonna look at the obvious lipstick mark and just go, "It's 2 in 1 week. I can't handle all of this," and then walk out the door again.
Willow will look at the door for like a second longer than necessary after Lawrence leaves, lean in to across the table and say, "We really need to get him a prostitute or something."
Cyprian will kind of look down and be like,
We can find
Really?
clean ones. Yeah. He just needs some experience, something new in his life, you know?
he will have finished making his cup of tea and will go, well, good talking with you. I am gonna go elsewhere and get this red off me.
Okay, but you know, if you want to talk about Dina, in case she
No,
stops again,
it's fine. It's fine. I've got it in hand.
As the
Alright.
door is shut behind Cyprian, leaving Willow by himself with a half-drunk cup of tea and his feelings.
And Willow will say out into the air. He's gonna get slapped at least one more time.
And I think as the door opens and Cyprian steps out to go back to his room, around the corner you hear Callum's voice go, "Oh, hey Dina, you got some red stuff." Ow! Ow! What the hell?
Chef's kiss. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So with this, I want to open the floor. We've had a couple of these little vignettes with each of your characters. I'd like to open the floor to all of you any interactions that you would like to claim with each other, with NPCs. I've got another scene in mind here where I want to help kind of propel the story forward, but I want to give everyone a moment to handle anything else that they'd like to handle.
I'd actually like to. It doesn't need to be a whole scene, but like tell Sam a little bit more about where I've come from and how I understand where she came from, and then actually send her to go see my sister, to Penelope.
But wait, say again, who did you want to grab?
Sam Grayson.
Sam Grayson. Okay, you want to send Sam? Okay.
Yeah.
To go talk to your sister?
Yeah. Yeah, they're both bad bitches from bad bitch country.
Sam is pretty much a bad bitch. She really is. She's pretty cool.
Yeah.
She's pretty cool. Her and Bruce, I like her and Bruce. They were supposed to be throwaway characters, and they were like, we take them with us. Cyprian's like, I saved them. I sent them to my family. I'm like, well, now they're important. All right, there you go. I love those. Some of the best characters. So, hey, you can send Sam off to talk to your sister. And so I don't end up talking to myself. That's going to happen kind of in the background, because that would be silly otherwise. And, yeah. Any other scenes? Anything else anyone would like to have?
Yeah. Callum wants to go talk to Willow's sister.
Ooh, let's go. So we're going to pick that scene up, actually, and I'd like to go to... You know where we're going to have this scene? We're going to have that scene in the meeting room of the dropship. We're going to have that scene in the meeting room of the dropship. So, Callum, you've been meandering around, actually trying to find Willow's sister. You haven't been able to find Penelope. She wasn't in the quarters that she had claimed for herself. She wasn't in the break room. She wasn't in the galley. She wasn't on the bridge. She wasn't in the mech bay. She seems to have vanished like some sort of ghost. But as you were walking by the meeting room, which is kind of near to the bridge of the ship, you hear laughter once again, and you recognize one of the voices as being Sam, and then the other voice, although you've only interacted with her a handful of times, you do recognize that as being Penelope as well. So we're going to pivot over to that scene here. As you walk into the room, you see a holographic display on the table. The one that Cyprian had fixed, of course, one that Cyprian had fixed, very well done. But you see that Penelope has the image of this kind of local region of the inner sphere. You see Kantara's, you see a couple different places, and they're in the middle of a conversation, and you see Sam has this like wide-eyed excitement on her face. She is completely enthralled, and Penelope is leaning forward with her arm on the table. She does kind of one of these lazily, and she's like, and if I could go anywhere, anywhere. And she swipes it, and she goes all the way to the center of the inner sphere. She goes all the way to the center of the inner sphere, and she says, I want to go to the cradle of humanity. I want to go right to the center of it all. You know what I mean? Like right to Terra, because that's where it all began. That's where we started to explore the stars. Don't you think, Sam? Don't you think? Just like to see where it all started, and then maybe blow it up. And then she giggles, and Sam's like, "What do you mean blow it up? No, that would be crazy." And you walk in during the middle of this conversation.
And yeah, so I think this is going to be a good time to test what kind of person Penelope is. So yeah, Callum's just going to look at her and go, this is a restricted area.
She doesn't lean up from the table, but she does tilt her head slightly to the side out of the corner. So she doesn't turn her face fully to look at you. It's just her two eyes. And you can only make out the right eye, as her left eye is just kind of hidden behind her nose. And she just kind of looks over at you. I didn't see a sign. And I'm here under permission from Sam, one of your mech warriors.
Sam, you're dismissed.
Sir, we were just talking, and we were just thinking about stuff, and
You're dismissed.
sir, yes, sir. And Sam will, not pouting, but very sheepishly make her way over to the door and exit the room. It's at this point that Penelope stands up a little bit taller and just kind of does one of those like stretches, like puts her arms back, puts her chest out, and then pulls her arms forward, kind of cracks her knuckles. Oh. Well, you're a friendly one.
I just like to know where everybody stands. I like to know who my enemies are.
Do you see any enemies before you?
I don't know, but I don't see any friends.
So is everything in your life so black and white? Maybe that hit to the back of your head my brother told me about was a little bit more intense than previously thought. Perhaps you should go see the doctor again.
Maybe. But life's always been black and white. It's you and them. I think you know what I mean.
I've always been of the school of thought that we are the they. Us as them is it's so derivative. Don't you think? It's so basic, so tribal. And she actually takes a few steps forward. And there's almost a saunter that very quickly turns into a very much more of a, if you've ever seen someone that is very good at martial arts, they can move forward maintaining the same level, so where they're not bouncing.
Yeah,
so it's
there's no
hard
bob.
to tell. There's no bob. It's hard to tell where they're going to move because there's no precursor to that movement. And you watch as she saunters for a moment and then seems to move into more of this almost predator-like attack kind of mode. This very trained, very purposeful, very practiced movement, and you don't know which way she's going to go. And Callum, you're a warrior, you're a fighter. You recognize this for what it is. She's likely relatively trained when it comes to either martial arts or combat. And she is dropping into this kind of almost instinctual movement in this moment. And she doesn't get too close.
Yeah.
Imagine you're at
Good.
the end of the table. She's halfway. The table's rather long. It's about 9 feet long. So she's about maybe 6 feet away from you at this point. But she stops and then lets you continue, please.
And I think at that, like watching her go into those motions, he'll just kind of nod and say, "Yeah, Willow said you could take care of yourself," and I believe it.
Smiles.
He'll take a couple of steps forward and say, "We've spoken a couple of times, but we've never been formally introduced. I'm Callum," and he'll hold a hand out.
She extends a hand. You watch as her combat stance seems to soften, and you can see like her shoulders were a bit tense up. It's almost like she was like a viper ready to strike, and she softens and she extends her hand, and it is a firm, not a strong, like gripping, crush your hand, Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of handshake.
Yeah.
Yeah. She goes, la. No, but it's a strong, nice, solid handshake. She goes, Penelope. But my friends call me Willa. I know, Willow, Willa, it's stupid. Just call me Penelope.
Who had the nickname first?
And she smirks. I'll never tell.
Yeah, you guys are a lot alike. Sorry I interrupted, but it's important for me to get a measure of somebody when we're all in such tight quarters.
And what are my measurements?
Well, you know how to fight. you probably know how to survive. And if you wanted to do us harm or sabotage the ship in any way, you would have done it already. Welcome aboard.
Thanks, Captain.
Oh, nah. I work for a living.
That gets a little bit of a smirk out of her on that one. It does. Well, who should I talk to about making myself useful? She looks
Well,
down at her hands. Idle hands
Yeah.
are indeed the devil's playground.
Well, if you can believe it, Willow's the Lance leader.
Who else can I talk to about getting a job around here?
Me.
Well, Callum, how can I help?
Come with me. And I guess we'll just sort of end that scene there. And I think, yeah, whatever, just sort of in the back end probe, what her interests are, what, applicable skills does she have?
Much like Willow, is very vague about her history. It's very similar. They're almost mirror images of one another. But you will come to find out that as competent at mech combat that Willow is, she is more competent when it comes to and capable sort of that hand-to-hand ground level warfare. And you get the impression that she might have been I hesitate to use the word assassin, but an enforcer of some sort that could use both womanly wiles and just great training to accomplish, hits and whatnot. So your impression of her, and actually let's make a roll here, because we haven't rolled any dice this session. I'd like to roll something. I'd like to roll a tactics check for us. I want to see if you can kind of pick up what she's laying down without being so direct to you in this moment. Perfect. She'd be great at maybe if you guys wanted to build up some ground troops, maybe some soldiers that weren't mech pilots. She could maybe help start training some folks. Might be an interesting job.
I'm going to set aside a small part of the mech bay, and she's going to need to show me something first. Just watch the strikes to the head, if at all possible, because the doctor said light duty.
So, Callum, I'm going to ask you. I know we're going to end this scene here in a moment, but I'd like to know, how good of a fighter is Callum?
Hand to hand, he is a very basic.
Okay.
Like his entire repertoire of hand to hand combat consists of him holding his own long enough to fall back to range and then engage with a firearm.
And then shoot somebody. So, I'm going to take a little bit of creative license
I mean,
here.
if you want to say she whoops my ass, I have no skill ranks in hand to hand.
You feel like for the first couple of minutes of this sparring, like you have the upper hand. And then it is a split second where you find yourself on your ass. And then for the next 10 minutes as you go back and forth, she is relentless. You end up on your ass, but what is interesting is not a single strike to the head. Every time she knocks you down, it is always on your knees, your back, but your head never strikes the mat, never strikes the floor, never gets hit. It's like she is so trained and so calculated that she can put you exactly where she wants to. And it's surprising for someone of such a small frame. She tosses you around like you're a rag doll. It's almost like caring in the way that she does it. Yeah, it's interesting.
It's a tender beating.
It's a tender beating. Doesn't break anything. Maybe have a couple bruises.
It's a very affectionate assault.
It's an affectionate assault. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think Callum will 100% sign up for her karate class.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think when we have a meeting, he'll propose that all personnel regardless if they're combat personnel or not, should be required to be certified in a basic level of self-defense.
I love it. Lawrence, you had a question.
Yeah, is this going on in like the mech bay, or is this going
Yeah,
on
mech bay.
in
There's a
like
small
okay.
area of the mech bay that it would be. Yeah, exactly.
All right. I think unless Callum or Aaron objects, I think Lawrence would come to investigate the kerfuffle, and upon seeing fisticuffs being thrown, or well, obvious sparring session, he will. Yes. He will
collar and elbow.
step up. Yeah. Step up for the pugilism bout.
I love it. I love it. So, Callum, you are. Go ahead, please.
I do have skill in melee combat, so.
Ooh, very nice. So, you have just been plopped onto your Tookus for the... Have at you, ruffian. That's right, Strata. That's right. So, you've just been placed onto your Tookus one more time. And, how do you choose to exit the sparring match, my friend? How do you choose to remove yourself from the situation in this moment?
I think like almost chuckling a little bit, but just like waving his hands, like, "All right, uncle."
And she will reach down, offering her hand, and say, "Look, you've got potential. You just need refinement."
Well, that's your job now.
Lawrence will pat him on the back and say, "Scouts are not supposed to get into fisticuffs."
Hey,
Don't
you know
worry.
what? She didn't even touch my head. It's crazy. You're gonna enjoy it. Yeah, but anyway, Penelope. Yeah, your job now is to teach me and probably everybody else some of these things.
This is a paying job, right?
We're mercenaries. If you're good at something, never do it for free.
I'll get with Esme. Beautiful. But as Callum maybe limps off a little bit, no, it's not bad. It's just your hip hurts a little bit. You hit it a couple times. But as you limp off, that leaves Lawrence and Penelope together in a little makeshift sparring ring, and she kind of sizes you up, Lawrence. She sizes you up. So are you next?
Lawrence will take off his jacket, part of his uniform, and say, "Only if you are offering. Please go easy on me. I'm very rusty."
And I'm curious, Lawrence, how rusty are you? Are you attempting to play coy in this moment, or are you actually rusty? I'm curious.
He is half truth. He got the basic training from the Federated Commonwealth regimen. He has experience in it, but the most he used in it was shoving the guy back before he's shooting him in the head.
I mean, that's effective. Yeah, it's like, back off!
Boom! I imagine that the Federated Commonwealth takes the United States and German and pretty much all modern armed forces attitude to martial arts. It's a way to get space so that you can shoot them. That's what it's for.
That's exactly what happened in the fight in that compound with the main head guy. I'm pretty sure you shoved him back and shot him. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened, which is beautiful. I love it. That's cool. Glorious. So you two will square up, and we're actually going to roll for this. Do you have the martial arts skill?
I have melee combat, if that's the same thing.
Perfect. With just martial arts adds a little extra damage and whatnot. So we're going to go ahead and have you both roll in this moment. And you two square up, and there's this kind of dance, and just the exact same way I described it to Callum, she's bobbing, and then suddenly she drops into this very, you can't tell where she's going to go. She's just stable. You have no idea which direction she goes. She doesn't give any indication, so she's obviously very well trained. And she gets an 18 on her martial arts check.
Oopsie daisy, that's the wrong one. There we go. Ooh, I don't think I can't beat it. Yeah, I definitely can't beat it unless I get boxcars.
That's fair. So it is, you can tell, again, you're a little rusty. You're good, but you're a little rusty. You can tell She is more fluid, kind of like throws, tosses. She uses your own weight against you. I imagine, and I'm going to use a little creative license here, that Lawrence is more of this kind of rough and tough, maybe more of a boxing, whereas she's more of that kind of fluid, maybe like was it Wing Chun? I think is the fluid kind of hand motion. That's more of her style kind of thing, and like tosses, taekwondo.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you. So that's more of her style. So you get the impression as it begins that she is testing you. It's very calculated in which way. She plays very defensive. And then as soon as she figures out how you fight, she knows where the weaknesses are and then exploits the fuck out of them. So it's not a thrashing like it was with Callum, but she does beat you. And it goes, you go a couple of rounds, etc. And yeah, after a while, you're both breathing a little heavier, and you're on your back, and she's got her foot on your chest, and she says, "Do you give up yet?"
Lawrence will point at her and say, "Yeah." It just kind of finally. I imagine it's been like 10 rounds at this point.
Yeah. It's been a process. It's been a process. So she will help you up and walks over, and there's kind of a little little crates over there, and there's a couple bottles of water, maybe some canteens, and not canteens. Canteen? No, that's right, a canteen. And she walks over and she opens one and offers it to you, and she starts, drinks some water as well. And there's maybe a little there's got some little MREs, little snack packs, little crackers and stuff. You gotta stay sustained, as it were. She does that, and she Lady Man, thank you, Core. She's quiet. She's eating and drinking a little bit. And she asks finally, though, she goes, "So, where'd you learn to fight?"
Formally, the Armed Forces of the Federated Commonwealth. Informally, my mother. Not violently. She's also former Iron Commonwealth. She taught me Krav Maga.
Wait, that was supposed to be Krav Maga?
Yeah, well, if I used the full, it's not to make excuses, but if I kicked you in the groin every single time, this wouldn't be very fun, would it?
You think you could get in close enough to kick me in the groin?
I would rather not mess up. I know this was friendly.
So wait, are you telling me that you were holding back?
I'm sure you were holding back as well. We're sparring. We're not attempting to actually win.
Well, sure, but
defeat.
I didn't want to kill you.
And I didn't want to kill you either.
You can't.
I just know that I can't hold.
You can't kill me. No.
Well,
Lawrence.
Probably not.
You
but
can't kill me.
Yeah. I don't want to. I don't think I can kill you. I do not want to hurt you.
You can't hurt me.
Well, probably not. But I don't want to. We don't want Mistake to find out.
She takes a step forward and puts a hand on your shoulder. Lawrence, see, admittance, that's the first step to recovery. And recovery is the first step to not sucking at hand-to-hand combat. I'll make a warrior out of you yet. And she grabs his chin and gives a little like a little tug and a little wiggle back and forth. And there's a little bit of a twinkle in her eye in this moment. And she smirks, grabs her snack, grabs her little water, turns back, looks at him, and says, "Meet me here tomorrow. Same time, same place. I'll show you a few more things." And then she will scurry off away, leaving Lawrence by himself, as it were. I think that's a good point to end that scene, and we're going to pivot back over any final scenes, because before we head into what I believe is going to be kind of our final scene of today's session, where it's going to be a big group meeting, everyone's going to discuss, and we're going to figure out where y'all want to go, where you all want to head off to next, what contract the Evanhart Sons would like to take. Any other scenes that anyone would like to have prior to that group meet?
Cyprian's going to go and find Richie.
Ooh, nice. Richie is right where Lawrence left him. Throwing that ball against the wall. Just ka-clang clang, ka-clang clang, ka-clang clang. And Cyprian, as you head off to find him, you do indeed find him. He's just tossing that ball, doing his thing. We walk in, we see him there. He notices you. You don't surprise him. He's a little more aware of his surroundings now that Lawrence snuck up and almost gave him a heart attack. So sneaky, Lawrence. So swift. So wonderful. And we're gonna pivot over to there. And Cyprian, you walk up to him, and Richie looks over. He goes, "Oh, hey Cyp, what's up, man?"
He's going to have like a clipboard or a notepad or something and a pen, and he'll be like, "Okay, Richie, give me a rundown on all the mechs." And he's going to be quite stern in how he's
Thunk,
approaching
thunk.
this whole thing.
Grab. Ka-thunk thunk. Grab. All the mechs are exactly the same way we left them like 2 months ago. Month ago? I don't know. We've been sitting in this fucking ship for weeks. Nothing's broken. Nothing needs to be fixed. I've run
He's going to go.
diagnostics
He's going
8 times.
to take the ball off of him
Yeah, but
and then
I
throw
was-
the ball like to the other
what
side
the
of the
fuck?
room.
I was throwing that. That is so mean. Now I gotta go find it, and it's already frayed. You might have broken it. It's under
Going to
that.
be like
It's
Richie,
under that
Richie,
fucking.
Richie.
Oh my god! It's under the fucking cart and the boxes. Now I gotta get the lifter and. Ooh, that's something to do though. That could keep me busy for like 5 minutes. Yeah. What?
Have you run down all of the mechs?
Yes.
Have you serviced every single one of them in the
16
past
times. Yes.
week? And everything is ready to go.
Tip top shape, Bossarino.
He'll like
Cyprian, nothing is
trying-
fucking broken. I need something broken, man. I gotta fix something. Like, I'm not Dina here over here trying to like go crazy or anything, but like, I need. Hey, you got a little bit of red on your lower lip there. Did you get in a fight or something?
He is going to
Is that lipstick?
do his best frowny face.
Who the fuck kissed you?
He's going to do his best frowny face.
Wait,
and
do
then
you wear
point the-
lipstick? Like, I'm
he's
not
going to
judging.
point-
Like, whatever you do in your spare time is fine. I just,
He's going to point the pen at him and go, "Richie,
yeah.
strip down the night gear and then rebuild it exactly the same way that it was." And then we'll walk off.
Wait, what? Cyprian, wait, what? Strip it. That? Why would I? But it's fine. That's like
Strip it and refit. He's going to shout backwards as he's walking away. Strip it and refit the night gear, Richie. Strip it and refit it. And then we'll walk off with his best stompy feet. But he's very slight, so he has no stompy feet.
We're gonna end this scene here with Richie looking down at his empty mitt, looking up at the night gear, looking down at his mitt, taking it off, tossing it over his shoulder, and goes, "Nice." And then he's gonna walk over to the night gear, and you're gonna see him start shouting for other mech techs that are like sitting around lazily doing nothing to be like, "We got work! Let's strip it down!" And he's super excited.
Meat's back on the menu.
Meat's back on the menu, boys, as it were. So, any other scenes? I love that. That was good, Cyprian. That was really good. Really good. Any other scenes? Going once, twice, 3 times, sold to the man with the magnificent beard, which is me. But as we drop back in, I think a great place to have this meeting would actually be on the bridge of the Lotropo. On the bridge of the Lotropo. And we see all of you have joined in. We've got the Sergeant Major, we've got Yinny, we've even got Esme. Some of the underlings, as it were, they're not on the bridge at this time, but all the major players, the movers and the proverbial shakers, are on the bridge.
All the NPCs
point.
that aren't worthy to have a token aren't actually there.
Every NPC has a token, baby. Come on, what you take me for? You think I'm one of them half-hearted GMs? Get out of town. Get out of town there. Get out of town. But as we open this scene here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this back over so everyone at home can see what we're working with. we see everyone hanging out on the bridge. And the Sergeant Major's leaning down next to Yini, that same star chart on that bridge kind of display screen. She's looking at that 2D representation of the inner sphere. And they're just having a little bit of a quiet conversation between the two of them. But Lawrence, you're the last one to get in. You had to maybe put some ice on your left arm because she walloped it a few times. But as you all bop on in, the Sergeant Major turns around and says, "Ah, good, you're all here. I think I know what our next contract's going to be. Obviously, I'd like to run it by all of you. This is it's not really diplomacy, democracy. Anyway, Yeni, take it away." Yeni stands up. "Well, Callum, I did a little research into that job. The one that was, I guess, weird, I could say.
Right.
Look, it's not 100% certain. I can't guarantee, but all the sources that I've contacted, this job from Donoval that's taking place on Alancia, it's not from the Donoval militia. It's not actually from them. They're just acting as a third party. They're acting as a go-between. This job's been ordered by... Well, it's been ordered by the Kantara's militia. It's been ordered by Victor. This is an opportunity for us to strike back at Katrina. Do we want to take it?"
That sounds like a great idea, but Callum, is anyone going to share the details of the job?
So, Duke Eric Tassari's son has, through some backwater channels, ordered a hit on a supply depot, a base on Alancia that has been funneling. A lot of Katrina's forces have been funneling some military supplies through to Kantara's for the occupying forces. While this strike would not completely cripple them, it would perhaps distract them and give the forces on Kantara's 4 maybe just a little bit of an edge, maybe a little bit of a breathing room to where they could potentially start to strike back. Because all the reports you've been getting is that it is a slow to steady downfall of the local Kantara's forces. The occupiers are winning. But if we can cut off the supply lines, maybe they don't have ammo for their AC-10s and 20s. Maybe they don't have extra LRM missiles. Maybe that makes it to where those on the ground, the good guys, get a chance to actually strike back instead of play defense. This is what Yini is explaining.
That's great to know, Yini, but I was actually asking about the payout.
It's not great.
She looks a little offended. But who fucking cares about the payout? We just made 2.5 million Cbills. I mean, and Esme pipes in. I mean, we're flush for at least the next, probably 6 months, assuming nothing really bad breaks down.
So I want to know what the salvage was on the payout, because if we can salvage a lot of it and funnel that to Kantara's instead of having to push that back to wherever this third party is that they're taking it as compensation for their.
So the payout, 200,000 Cbills. It's trash compared to what you normally get. It is trash.
But 90% salvage rights, though.
90% salvage rights. And what that's going to do in game terms is I'm going to give each of you 2 free salvage at the end of the combat that you do not have to spend XP on.
Okay, so we're getting bonus equipment points.
Correct.
Ooh.
Exactly. That is the way I'm going to do that in game terms if you choose to take this. Now, there are the other 2 contracts, which would be standard. There's an assassination mission. I'm thinking Mechwarrior 5 style, just kind of giving you basic ideas. There's one that is a destroy a base mission. This one is not destroy a base. The goal is to take the base, get the supplies, and then get out with it. So it's similar to the ground stuff, but this time, instead of working for a fucking gang, guys are maybe working for the good guys by proxy.
Yes. Listen, Yenny, like I said, don't care about the Cbills. We've got some Cbills. I wanted to know the salvage rights because I think if we can funnel these to our side instead of the enemy side, I think that not only could we slow down the downfall of Kentaurus, but maybe we can reverse it just a little bit. Does that sound good to everyone? If we basically give up our salvage rights and forward everything to Kentaurus?
There's some slow head nods from Esme. Even the captain is not really getting involved. He's just there to pilot the ship, but he's like, yeah, I mean, that's fair. Yenny is nodding. Sergeant Major's nodding. What do the rest of you think?
Cyprian will be quietly nodding.
Yeah, Lawrence will just say, salvage is very much what we well, not salvage, but material is more important than Cbills at this moment. We can pretty much go anywhere on the Cbills that we already have. I say we take this job.
And I'd propose a middle ground. Any enemy asset that we down is ours to salvage. Anything inside that base belongs to the client.
Yeah, sure, sounds good.
If they want us to take the base, then it stands to reason they take everything inside.
Yeah, we'll leave the 10% as the actual base itself, and they can deal with that how they will.
Then I agree.
Then we're all in agreement.
Let's go kick some Katrina ass.
Hell yeah. Hoorah. And I think our last scene is going to be a shot of all of you nodding, starting to discuss, what information you're going to need. You see Yenny starts to plot a course with the captain. And as we zoom out, we see both the Lotropo and the Stropo, the two dropships that make up your fleet, as it were. They start to engage their engines. They start to pivot away from Robinson and head towards the zenith of that system's star. And it's going to be 46 days. 46 days to get you to where you guys are trying to go, to Cantargo. So what I'm going to ask you all to do during now and our next session is let me know what you guys are up to. Maybe in our text RP, we have a Discord channel. Maybe just say, and it doesn't have to be a 5-page paragraph. Just here's some quick hitters of what we focus on during that time. Any upgrades you'd like to do to your mechs, any skill upgrades, anything you do, let me know. If there's any, RP moments you want to have, because what we'll do is next session we'll open up with some vignettes of what happened over the last 46 days. And then we're going to dive pretty much into some mech combat. We're going to get back into the cockpits. Get back into cockpits. And I've got this nice little power-up thing that I put together here.
Processing.
There you go. You hear that?
Stabilizing.
Ooh.
Weapon systems online.
There it is.
All systems active.
Alright. I gotta remember to play that the next time we jump into the cockpit, because I forgot I had that. So, but
Yeah, I designed one too.
yeah,
so.
I forgot about it. So great session, everybody. I thought there were some wonderful character moments. You all really drove this story, this today's session. So I gotta say I'm thoroughly impressed, and I want to say thank you all for today. And let's talk turkey, to steal a phrase from my friend Aaron there, who game masters a Mechwarrior Destiny game for myself and Anders here on Fridays. Does a great job. We had a great session last night. A lot of fun.
Amazing job.
Yeah, it was so fucking good, dude. So good. But let's talk turkey. So we had, each of you had a scene. And then there was, I'd say, a couple of other little moments as well. Maybe a little bit more than I should give, but I'm a generous and benevolent GM, so I'm going to give you all 5 experience points. 5 experience points.
Nice.
Plus 1 for showing up, so that's a total of 6. And what that's going to represent is training you do over the next 45 days, preparation, research, logistical work to get ready to attack this base. And what I will do for you all before next session is I'll provide you an overview, a map of the base that you'll be attacking. I'll give you an idea of what kind of forces you're to expect, and then we'll have some fun doing some mech scale combat. But any final thoughts, questions, comments, or concerns before we wrap up today's session? I wish you all a beautiful rest of your Saturday.
I want everyone to have a great day. That's my
Yeah.
comment.
Amen to that. Amen
Same
to that.
here.
Amen to that. You guys are a great group of guys. I love playing with you. I love your characters. You are doing an absolute fantastic job. I thank you so much. It's really gotten me into the BattleTech universe. I've been playing BattleTech, the video game. I love it. I have such a greater appreciation. So I want to thank Aaron for getting me into BattleTech. He's the one that really pushed me this direction. Not necessarily for Destiny, but that's a byproduct of just this beautiful lore, beautiful story, and setting that is really cool to explore. So hope I'm doing justice. I'm trying here. It's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
But you guys are glorious. Let's talk also real quick, since we're online here. I want to just know, are we good for next Saturday? I know, Strom, you had some things going on. I think it's the next 2 weeks you're on you're on your honeymoon or vacation or something's going on.
I'm going to my friend's bachelor party next Saturday.
Okay.
And then I'm going to be in a kill team tournament.
Okay,
The
perfect.
weekend after.
Perfect.
Yeah. And also for me, next Saturday I'm gonna be at a track day.
That's
so
right.
I will
So
be
you were both busy
unavailable.
on the 27th.
Okay. So
Strom's
Mhm.
busy on the 3rd, so we're back on the 10th.
Okay. Yep.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and set that. So to all of our viewers, we will be back on September 10th, 2 p.m. Eastern. That is 3 weeks from today. I will miss you guys while we're gone, but I wish you all well. Good luck in the tournaments. Good luck at the track. Have fun at the bachelor party. And until next time, as I always say at the end of every session, thank you to the players for playing. Thank you to the viewers for viewing. Happy gaming, everybody. We'll catch you next time for session 14 of Mechwarrior Destiny Salvaged Destiny. Have a good day.